How y'all doing, gents? My name is Adar Malik. Quick introduction about myself is I grew up in Tijuana, Mexico, moved to the USA for high school, and I fell in love with martial arts. In the process of doing so, I joined the Marine Corps Infantry at 17, and my life mission right now is to help young men with life lessons that I have learned in their journey to becoming a man. I'll talk about purpose from lessons I learned in this book called The Way of the Superior Man, which is written by a philosopher called David Deida. And I genuinely recommend this book to anyone because this book changed my life, the way I look at the world, and the way I look at myself. So let's start. So besides God, a man's purpose comes before anything in your life, right? Life, relationship, money, hobbies, etc. Without a purpose, a man is just roaming around the earth with no value, like a plastic bag, like a warm plastic bag, just letting the world choose where he goes and what he does, you know? Rather than him creating his own legacy and his own story. You could create your own legacy and your own story. So you could let the world control you, or you could control the world. So what is your purpose? Your purpose is your deepest desire in your heart, what you feel in your core, what you feel you are meant to do. When you think of this purpose, you sense a feeling of blissful energy in your core. You feel like, man, I really want to do that. You know, you just sense it, you can just feel it. So how does living your purpose work? Your core purpose in life is going to be filled with multiple outer purposes, right? Which we're going to demonstrate later. Each of these circles are lesser purposes. The goal is to live out each circle's purpose until it dissolves, moving on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, until you reach your core purpose. How can we get a purpose? Okay? You must wait for a vision. You must wait to get a vision, but in order to do so, you need to remove all the distractions in your life. You need to enter a period where you aren't doing anything at all. Don't go out drinking, don't eat crazy foods, don't play video games, just be bored. Literally be so bored, you're going insane. Be like a monk, because when you remove all the dopamine, all the distractions, you're just gonna be left alone with your most authentic self. And that's when your true self is about to show up. So the vision might not be fully clear just yet, right at the bat, but you might start to sense a new direction where you want to be heading. And you better act on it, learn by trial and error, and it will be revealed more and more as you go. The way you live out a purpose, there's two parts to this, right? Knowing your real edge. What I mean by edge is your limits and fears. That could be your edge, right? That's my definition of edge. And an average man looks at his limits and fears and lives in his comfort zone. Like a little boy, you know, always safe. He stays away from his fears, his limits. He knows his limits and he does not get close to it, right? And he's always in a comfort zone, in his little safe bubble like a little boy. And he's not in harm's way. The superior man says, screw that, and lives right beyond his edge. He knows his limits and fears and lives in uncomfort every day. Every day he lives in uncomfort. If he sees something that's hard, that he's scared, he lives in it. So there's the line, right? Here's fear, here's no fear. The superior man lives right here. Not too far, but not too little. So yeah, the superior man looks at the face of fear and he acts on it. The only way to level up as a man, as we know, is by living in discomfort and facing your fears. This is the act of courage. At the same time, know your real edge and don't fake it, right? Know your actual limits. Don't place false limits on yourself. If you know you can run 8 miles nonstop, don't say 3 miles is your limit, because you're lying to yourself. All right. 2, okay, so when living your purpose, you must align everything in your life for this purpose. The way you exercise, the books you read, your diet, your relationship, your time management, the content you consume. You must give it your all. Come home, sleep in your bed knowing you poured your soul into your purpose. That's the way you will feel fulfilled. So let's just take an MMA fighter into consideration, right? The way he lives out his life is aligned to his purpose of his MMA dream. The way he exercises like an MMA fighter, right? The way MMA fighters exercise. The books he reads is about warriors, philosophy of warriors, how to throw better punches. You know, you could think, better diet. His diet is, is a boxer's diet or MMA fighter diet, right? Got all the carbs he needs, all the right foods, all the right protein, exact macros, etc. His relationship is set up in a way where it benefits him. His time management is prioritizing MMA. Everything in your life needs to be aligned to your purpose, even the content you consume. And you must give it your all. So what happens when you reach the end of a purpose? So your purpose is dissolving when you feel that what you're doing no longer calls your name. You don't feel that hunger that you once had. You have fulfilled that layer of purpose. It has dissolved. You will move into the next layer of purpose. You're going to repeat the process you did to get a purpose in the beginning. Remember, which is to cut all the distractions, be a monk, wait for a vision. And once you have attained the vision or direction of your new purpose, you will repeat the process over and over until you have reached your core purpose. I do want to say that I've read this book at least 4 times back to back. Every time I'm facing a challenge in life and I just don't have the mental clarity that I need, I go back to this book and it provides everything that I need. As we know, a man is driven by purpose. If he has no purpose, he is just lost. He feels empty, and I don't know how he can live. I'm gonna be honest, he just have no sense of purpose. He's just roaming around the earth like a plastic bag. And after I read this book and I understood what purpose is, it just provided my life with a lot more meaning. The effort I put into things, the way I look at the world, etc. Alright, so now I'm just gonna give you a little example. Alright, so here we have a core purpose, right? This circle right here. This circle is going to be filled with multiple outer circles. Each of these circles are still purposes, but they're not your core purpose. They're lesser purposes. And I'm about to show y'all what I mean by this. Alright, so right here we have this man called, let's call him Jack. Okay? Jack discovers about purpose and how it works. So he waits for a vision, he gets a vision. Let's just say he wants to become a firefighter, right? Because his dad was a firefighter. And he truly feels in his core he needs to be a firefighter. So he is going to live out this purpose. He's going to live it fully until he has fulfilled that purpose and it no longer calls his name. He feels he's ready to move on onto the next purpose. He waits for a vision. He penetrates that circle. So the new vision is now he wants to become a lawyer, right? He's going to do whatever he needs to do to become a lawyer, align his life for this purpose, giving it his all. He becomes a lawyer. He has multiple businesses, whatever you want to call it, right? And he lives out this purpose, right? He becomes very successful and he gives it his all. One day, it no longer calls him. So he dissolves this purpose and waits for a new vision to come. New vision comes. Let's just say, for the sake of this video, he wants to become a bull rider. He wants to ride bulls, right? He wants to be a cowboy. He is going to do whatever he needs to do. He's going to act on it. He's going to learn by trial and error. He's going to live out that purpose. He's riding cowboy, or he's riding bulls, with a cowboy hat, one hand in the air, whatever. And he's going to live out that purpose until it no longer calls him. Then, all of a sudden, he waits for a new vision, for a new purpose. Now he wants to start a farm, right? He's getting more into his deeper desires, deeper core purpose. He is on his last outer circle, right? He starts a farm, you know, he has a family, starts a farm, builds everything he needs to build. He has cows, he has chickens, whatever, right? And he's going to dissolve this purpose right here. Now he's left with his core purpose, which, for the sake of this video, let's say his core purpose was to get to know God and just live a monk life, right? That was his core purpose. He hasn't solved every purpose. Now he's truly living his core purpose, and that's what purpose is.